And good afternoon, everyone. This is the Sarasota Technology User Group and the Central Florida Computer Society's Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, April 14th, 2024. I'm Hewie Poplock, and again, we have our monthly meeting where we've been doing this for 20 years or more as the Windows SIG. That I've been doing it, and prior to that, there were several others who handled it for the Central Florida Computer Society. Mike at one time handled it. I think, Mike, when you handled it, it was the DOS SIG.
Yep.
So I've been doing it for at least 20 years. Every second Sunday, we did move it around a little bit, but it is now every second Sunday of the month, and we're glad you're here. I want to welcome everybody. What we do every month is I put together a list of articles that I have accumulated over the past month that deal with Windows, deal with computers in general, or technology in general. We try to get through as many as we can. I post them on my WinSIG website, and we'll go there right now. And we're going to go to hewie.net. For those of you who've been here before, you know the routine, but there may be some people here that have not done this. We go to the WinSIG, and I post the links, the articles, and each one is a link each month. And here is all of March's topics, and we didn't get to all of them, but as many as we got to. And but the links are there where you can go to the individual articles and check them out. But I also, after the recording is downloaded and some editing, not much, then I post it. And so if you want to watch last month's meeting, you can do so, and you can go back and watch several months. They're all on the CFCS YouTube channel, but not all of them are on the website. I go back, I think, a year or two, but because of space considerations, I can't go back too far online with a lot of this stuff. So let's take a look at the first article is on Windows 11 update, which was released this past week or so, at least in the past month, with 29 changes, and they call it Moment 5 in their features from Moment 5. So let's take a look at this. I am going to go to the, let's see, how do I do this? I'm going to move it down a little bit and do this, and then bring it back up, full screen it. There we go. We'll do it in the larger print. And this is the Windows. KB stands for knowledge base. And each of the updates has a knowledge base plus other knowledge base articles. In other words, articles that Microsoft creates to explain certain things about their operating system. And there were 29 changes, as I mentioned, in this Moment 5. So let's see, we can make this bigger, and we'll do this. So Microsoft has released KB 5036893, cumulative update for Windows 11 23H3, which includes 29 changes and fixes and enables the Moment 5 features for every user. This update is mandatory as it contains the Microsoft April 2024 Patch Tuesday security updates, which fixed 60 vulnerabilities in Microsoft's products. So that's another reason I want to do the update that I mentioned in the social time, that I want to go from 22H2 to 23H2 or H3. And it's not letting me do it automatically. You can install the update now by going to Start, Settings, Windows Update, and clicking Check for Updates. When I do it, it doesn't let me update any further than where I am. Otherwise, Microsoft will attempt to install it during your normal scheduled patch window, and it didn't do that either. So what's new in the Windows 11 update? We're not going to go through everything, but let's look at some of the highlights. New, this update affects Windows Hello for Business. Probably most of you don't use it, so I'm not going to cover that. This update improves remote desktop session host. You can now set it up in its clipboard redirection policy to work in a single direction from the local computer to the remote computer. This update adds search highlights to the taskbar search box for the European Economic Area. Well, that doesn't affect most of us, or if not all of us. And it might not be available for all users, and it'll gradually upload. Update addresses an issue affects certain neural processing units, or NPUs. They do not show in the task manager. The update addresses an issue that affects Notepad. It fails to print certain internet printing protocol, or IPP printers, when you use a print support app. And then the update addresses an issue that affects some of the wireless earbuds. Bluetooth connections are not stable. This occurs on devices that have firmware from April 2023 and later. I was having problems with a Bluetooth headset that I was using from Aftershocks, and I have a newer one from the renamed company called Shocks, and it comes with a dongle that I can also use it as a USB. And so I'm using it as a USB. It's got a microphone, and I'm using that microphone for this session, as well as the headset. And if you're not familiar with Shocks or Aftershocks, they are bone conducting headsets, and I really like them. Microsoft says they're not aware of any issues with this release, and so a full list of changes can be found at 6893, and let's see if that's the next one we're going to cover here. So we're going to, let's see, I got to get this. Because of this being a laptop, at the top is my Zoom menu, and I can't see everything, so I've got to make some adjustments here. So let's go back to the WinSIG, and the next article is 6893. So let's take a look at that. And again, whoops, I didn't want to do that yet. I want to still do the immersive reader. There we go. And the new end date, June 24th, 2025 for Windows 11, version 22H2. So it's not this June, it's next June. The home and, wait a minute, will receive non-security preview updates until June 26, 2024. So it is this June for this particular computer. After these dates, only cumulative monthly security updates will continue for supported editions of Windows 11 22H2. So I do need to update this. Okay, some highlights. New, now you can use voice access with the following languages. Now, that doesn't mean that it's translating. It just means you can speak in those languages and use the voice access. When you turn on voice access for the first time, Windows will ask you to download a speech model, and you might not find a speech model that matches your display language. You can still use voice access in English. You can always choose different languages from settings and language. New, you can now use all voice access features on multiple displays. This includes number and grid overlays that in the past you could only use on the primary display. While you're using the grid overlay on a screen, you can quickly switch to another display. And it tells you how to do that. Probably most of you don't, but just if you do or want to know how to do that, there's information on it. This update introduces voice shortcuts or custom commands. You can use them to create your own commands in the supported English dialects. To start, say, "What can I say?" and click the voice shortcuts tab on the left panel. You can also use the command show voice shortcuts to open the voice shortcuts page. And you can create a new shortcut as well. New, you can also now listen to a preview of the 10 natural voices before you download them. See the narrator section of the September 2023 update for that list. These voices use modern on-device text-to-speech. Once you download them, they work without internet connection. However, to listen to a preview, you need an internet connection. And then it tells you how to open narrator and how to do all of that. This update improves narrator's detection of text in images, which includes handwriting. It also improves the description of images. To use this feature, you must have an active internet connection. You must also turn on the settings to get image descriptions in narrator settings. To try the experience, select an image and press the narrator key plus Control plus D. And in Microsoft Word, this is new. Narrator will announce the presence of bookmarks and draft or resolved comments. It also tells you if accessibility suggestions exist when it reads text in the file. Also new, you can now use voice access to open applications, dictate text, and interact with elements on the screen. You can also use your voice to command narrator. For example, you can tell it to speak faster, read the next line, and so on. To get started, search for voice access in Windows Search and set it up. And this update changes the apps that appear in the Windows Share window. The account you use to sign in affects the apps that are in share using. For example, if you use a Microsoft account MSA to sign in, you will see the Microsoft Teams free when you use a Microsoft Entra ID account, formerly Azure Active Directory, to sign in. Your Microsoft Teams work or school contacts show instead. Also new is the Windows Share window now supports sharing with WhatsApp in the Share Using section. If you do not have WhatsApp installed, you can install it from the Windows Share window. This update affects how Nearby Share turns on and off. You can use Quick Settings or the Settings app to turn on Nearby Share. If you do and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are off, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth will turn on to make Nearby Share work as you expect. If you turn off Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, Nearby Share turns off as well. This update improves Nearby Share transfer speeds for users on the same network. Before, users had to be on the same private network. Now users must be on the same public or private network. You can use Quick Settings to turn on Nearby Share. Right-click on a local file in File Explorer, choose Share, then choose to share to the device listed in Nearby Share in the Windows Share window. And you can also, now you can give your device a more friendly name to identify it when sharing. So you can rename your device. And this update helps you to learn about the cast feature and discover when it's available. See the examples in the list below. So you can use some casting. This update also adds suggestions to the snap layouts. And what that means is when you look at the snap layouts here, you will see on in this update, you will see more choices than what I have here. And I can see them on my desktop, but I do not see them on this machine because I haven't done the update. You can hover over the minimize or maximize button of an app or click on the Windows key and Z to open up the layout box. When you do, app icons will display in various layout options. Use them to help you choose the best layout options. There's still quite a few more new items here, and then there's some improvements. So this is a good file to find out what's been updated on your machine, and there is currently no Microsoft not aware of any issues with this update except I can't get it to do the update. Let's take a let's stop the share for a moment and have a discussion. That was quite a bit of material I covered there. Any comments, questions?
What was the name of the update again?
It's the second item on my list at WinSIG, at hewie.net/WinSIG. It's the second item. When I go back to the screen sharing, I'll show you the article.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
I couldn't recall. Did you say that this was the Moment 5 update for the voice?
That's what they're saying. Which
okay,
is
I posted a link in the chat to a description of what the update is. There's a lot of voice improvements.
Yeah.
I did post a link. It's from ESIS, but it's a page on their website, and it does have the options for downloading 1123H2, which I believe is the one you just talked about with the Moment 5 update.
Good, thank you. I'll grab that. John, did you have your hand up?
Yeah. I still have 22H2. So I'm going to have to do something between now and my birthday.
Okay, so you're in the same boat I am.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like there's a lot of new things that they've added with this update. Steve Parker, you have your hand up.
Yeah, if you have Windows 10 and you do the Windows upgrade to 11, what version will it put on there?
The highest one that it can, which would be in most cases 23H. I thought it was H2, but it might be H3. But it should do the most up-to-date one and include all of the changes.
Okay.
Jim Glass, you have your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. I've been trying to use the voice access feature, and I notice there's quite a lag between turning it on and before it starts to actual work. Is that just me, or is that part of what the program is?
Anyone know? I don't have an answer for that.
Jim, are you using the Windows key and the H key, which is the shortcut to start voice?
Yeah. I've used it, but
no delay whatsoever.
Go ahead.
There's no delay whatsoever. Windows key and H, and up pops the little icon to let you know that voice is active.
Yeah, but then once it says voice is active and I start using it, there's quite a delay before any text appears.
Right. That's normal.
Is that normal?
Yeah, it's not that. I don't consider it that long. I would finish the sentence, and then it puts it. I can finish a sentence or part of a paragraph, and then it drops into the text entry. I just have I keep the icon, the microphone icon, on my taskbar. All I have to do is click
I have that too, but when I hit that icon, it just brings up a window that lists everything that can be accessed by the voice access. It doesn't actually open voice access.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
The process that is best is if you put the cursor in the app that you want to dictate into first.
Correct.
And then hit the menu H key.
Yeah.
Okay, so this new stuff you were talking about, Hewie, the shortcuts and the voice commands, that comes automatically with this latest update. Is that correct?
That's what it sounds like from what I read.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments? Questions? Let's go back. Let's do the share. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so the first two items here are the ones that I've covered that have all those updates. So I think the second one is the one I just covered that indicated each one. So that would be the KB 5036893 from April 9th. Today's what, the 14th. So, okay, and then update health tools from Microsoft. Let's take a look at that. Oops. Let me go back and do the immersive reader. Okay, Microsoft Update Health Tools is offered to devices through Windows Update. This update is applicable for both Windows consumer and commercial devices. Most of us have the consumer device with slightly different purpose and functionality. On the consumer devices, on our devices, this update helps remediate smooth functioning of Windows Update. So that might help that computer that you were working on, Mike. Maybe the updates will go quicker and easier. Let's see. The Microsoft Update Health Tools is required for expediting security updates through Microsoft Intune and Microsoft Graph. This update should automatically install if your device is connected to the Windows Update services. If your device isn't regularly receiving quality updates, it's because of low disk space or have low activity. This may prevent the device from installing the Update Health tools. If you currently don't have the client installed, you can then try triggering a normal Windows Update scan, or you can manually download and install the Update Health tools and that's a link right there from Microsoft Download Center. To verify that the health update tools have successfully installed, do the following. Look for the installation files at this location. C:/ program files / Microsoft Update Health Tools. And this is the commercial. And then you might have to allow the following endpoints if they are blocked in the device's firewall settings. Now we're getting into deeper than most of you want to get involved in. Important, if your device is out of support and is no longer receiving security updates from Microsoft and may become more vulnerable to security risks and viruses. Therefore, we strongly recommend you update to the latest version of Windows. Each version of Windows is supported for 18 months. After support ends, you must update to a newer version of Windows to continue receiving Windows updates. And so that's the end of that article. And March 26th. So we're going back a little bit from before some of these updates. And this article, again, let's bring up the immersive reader to get the larger print and get all the other crap off the screen. New updates for the end of non-security updates from Windows 11 version 22H2. So it gives some information there. Let's see, this is new dates for the end of security. All right. And then there were some new things in that one as well. You can ask Copilot and Windows and Preview to help 10 times when you sign into Windows using the local account. After that, you must sign in using a Microsoft account. So you're able to use Copilot without signing into a Microsoft account up to 10 times. This update adds more content to your lock screen, so you get more information. And I noticed that on this laptop, when I boot up, it's got quite a bit of information. I haven't changed it because I don't leave it on the lock screen anyway. As soon as it comes up, I go ahead and log in. This update addresses an issue that affects the settings app. Let's see what else is going on. You can now use voice access in the following languages. So some of that's a repeat of what we just covered. So this one's a little bit older than that last one. So there might be some older information in there. Okay, the next one is 27 Windows 11 tips and tricks you need to know. So some of these we've covered before, So I'm not going to spend time on all of them, but let me go ahead and hit the immersive reader. Go back to full screen. 27 tips and tricks for Windows 11. Realign the start button. That means instead of having the start button towards the center, you can put it back to the left. And I guess there's probably either an ad or a picture here that doesn't show. If you're new to Windows 11, the first thing that jumps out is the placement of the start button, and you can move it back. Generate text and images with Copilot. You need to write a recommendation, but don't know where to start. Spruce up the tone or grammar of an email, or maybe need a goofy image to spice up your newsletter. Microsoft Copilot can help you with these things and more. If you haven't played with it, do. Get it by clicking on the colorful swirly icon on the right at the end of the taskbar, or typing Windows key and the letter C. You can use your voice to tell it what to do, and it remembers the context of a conversation, so you can have a whole conversation without repeating everything when you want more information. It can write code, summarize a web page or PDF, and write a poem on a topic of your choice. You can drag an image file onto it or select an area of the screen for it to explain. We have loads of advice on what to try with Copilot if you're new to this particular AI chatbot. So if you haven't played with it, please do so. You'll find a load of things that it can do and make your life easier or more fun. Recent updates to Copilot on Windows lets you use plugins for those things like making dinner reservations through OpenTable, or travel reservations through Kayak. Copilot will also change PC settings. I tried to play with some of these things and I couldn't make it work, or it didn't work with everything. But one of the things I want to do was to bring up the system, and I think, let's see, you can simply turn Copilot off in settings, personalization, if you don't want it, but there's some things that you can do with it. Let's see, we have loads of advice on what to try with Copilot. Let's click on that link. And again, what we'll do here is, let's see, that's not what I want here. I'll turn on the immersive reader and then full screen it again. And so these are some things that you can do with Copilot, and how to access it, and then how to use it. But what I wanted to get to, I think farther down here, tell Copilot to get more creative, precise, or balanced. More creative makes the responses more original and imaginative. More precise means the responses will be more accurate and brief, or more balanced will attempt to strike a balance between those two. You can approve, download, or share a response. You can have an actual conversation with Microsoft Copilot. In Windows, at the website, or in the mobile app, you can use your voice to talk with Microsoft's AI. Tap the microphone icon on the bottom of the screen, speak your query, and then submit it. Microsoft will display the results. Click or tap the audio level icon to stop the narration. So if you ask it by voice, it will respond to you by voice. Let Copilot flex its creative muscles. So get the TLDR from web pages. I don't know if all of you know what TL colon or semicolon DR means. It means too long, didn't read. And this is one of the shortcuts that people use when someone sends you something that's much too long, so you don't bother reading it, or you read the first couple of paragraphs. So if you get a web page that falls in that category, looking for key details or synopsis on the specific web page. So here's another trick you can perform with the Copilot sidebar in Edge. Open to the page you want to analyze. Then open the sidebar and click Insights heading. Wait a second or two when the AI displays key points from the page as well as related links, articles, and videos. So use Copilot to shorten things up to so you don't have to TLDR. You can analyze an image. You can also take a photo or upload an image to Copilot and have the AI analyze it. In Windows, at the Edge sidebar or from the website, click the image icon and select Upload from the device. Take a new photo, tap the image, and select Take a Photo. For the mobile app, tap the camera and so on. I'm not going to, you can download the article and take a look at it. So, or you can create your own image. But the thing is, what you can do is you can take an image and tell it to explain it. Or if you find an image of something, you can say, what is this? And even though Google Chrome, the search engine could find things from a picture, AI does a much better job and is more likely to give you more information on it, not just send you to a website. You can get extra help with GPTs. If you're not a subscriber to ChatGPT, you aren't able to use the GPTs. What they are small programs that people write to use from within OpenGPT and specific services through those plugins, and get information or launch apps on your PC. You can launch the screen magnifier, tell Copilot to turn the battery saver on or off, show Bluetooth. So I tried some of these things. Some of them I got to work and some I couldn't. Let's see, use Copilot. There was one on system. I guess it wasn't this article, but let's stop the share a moment and see if there's any comments or questions. Out of curiosity, is there anyone here who doesn't use Copilot and has a reason for not using it and would like to speak up about that?
I'll speak up because I use Gemini. I use Google's Gemini more than I use both. I will go into Copilot from time to time to compare my results, but
Okay.
I have more success with the Google side. But that's just me.
Okay, but and the question I really was asking is doing this sort of thing with either Gemini or Copilot or something. Who's avoiding using AI, I think is what I was looking for. So Drew, you have your hand up.
Oh, I'm in the exact opposite. The Copilot app for Android is probably my most used app on my phone. And also the Perplexity app is a very good app. Those are my two most used utility programs on the phone.
Yeah,
Just
a
find
lot of times.
Copilot very busy, very busy. There's always too much. I find the other side just calmer.
Yasmin says, I prefer regular Google, and it just went away. I got to go find it again. Hang on one moment. Let me find the chat.
I prefer regular Google. I don't like the AI Copilot Net's result that I don't want.
Yeah, Yasmin says, let's see. I'm having trouble. I only have one screen and it just, I'm not used to it. Let's see. Yasmin says, I prefer regular Google. Somebody's moving around their microphone. Please mute yourself first. It's Jim.
Mr. Hempel.
Yeah, I got it. I prefer regular Google. I don't like AI Copilot. Net results, it gives results she doesn't like. So, and she says Copilot's too busy for her. So yeah, and they are personal things that we use to make our lives easier. And sometimes by talking about it, sometimes you hear something that somebody else is doing that you might want to try. Sometimes you'll like it, sometimes you won't. So that's why I want to get discussions going in between we're talking about some of these topics, so you can voice your opinion, and maybe here's some others that might help you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, let's see. I need to get back to turning off the chats. Gosh, having a small screen that's not 1920 by 1080 is just brutal for somebody that's used to it. All right, so let's go back and share my screen again. How are we doing for time? We're doing good. We're not getting too far on the list, but let's see. We're going to come back to the Windows. And so we looked at some of the 27 tips. We didn't look at all of them. Again, the link is there. Please go to it, take a look at it, save the information in any way that you save that kind of information. Okay, Notepad in Windows 11 is finally getting spell check feature. And I really like that because I use Notepad quite a bit. And let's go ahead and let's see. We'll turn on the immersive reader, full page it again. Notepad in Windows is finally getting a spell check feature. Microsoft continues to improve Notepad with useful features in Windows 11. And here's what Notepad looks like. Notepad's a text editor. And the difference between a text editor like Notepad and a word processor like Google Docs or Microsoft Word is it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles. It just, you type in some text and all the text is the one font that you've got set up and the one size you've got set up. You can't bold it. You can't, there's a lot of features you can't use with it, but it's just for text. It's just for the information. So a lot of times, if I want to grab an article from a website, I'll copy the whole thing and then I drop it into Notepad and it strips out everything that I don't want, or most of what I don't want. And then I can go in and I can arrange it a little bit, and I might have to do a little bit of editing, but I've got the article in straight text. Then I may take it back in and put it in Word and then massage it and make bullet points or numbers, numbered bullets, or capitalize or change some colors if I need to, and so on. But I'll go in and I'll make it text first, and I use Notepad to do that. And but Notepad never had any spell check, and now with the newest version, it does have that ability. And let's see what else. It's spell check and Notepad is the latest feature addition in a long line of improvements to this built-in Windows 11 app. Notepad's been a part of Windows, I think, since Windows first went from DOS to Windows. Microsoft announced in December it's adding a character count to Notepad soon, and I'm looking forward to that for a couple of reasons. And then shortly after, the software maker added a new autosave option that lets you close the app without a save prompt every time. Microsoft also has added a dark mode for Notepad, which I don't use, tabs, which I do use, Copilot, AI integration, and even a virtual fidget spinner. I haven't seen that or tried that. So let's go back to stop the share. Anybody else use Notepad or a text editor of some sort?
I use Notepad constantly, and I already have the character count, which comes in great because certain things you can only have so many characters, especially if you're on YouTube and you want to put some stuff in, it limits you to a certain number of characters for that function. And I can now go ahead and use it directly in Notepad and know that I'm not exceeding that limit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to me being able to use that because I have to go into Word and do the word count or letter count, because if I've been using InVideo.ai and it limits 3,600 characters, including spaces. So I exceed that a lot of times, and I want to cut it down. And so I'd like to know what the character count is or the word count. Drew, your hand is up.
Yes, if you are stuck on Windows 10, in the Microsoft Store is an app called Notepads, Notepad with an S on the end, and it's free to install, and it has tabs like the Windows 11 Notepad, in case you're jealous of your Windows 11 machine.
Yeah, and there was also one that I used for several years. I think it was called Notepad Plus Plus. Was another a text editor that was very good, and I think it's still out there. It's still being used. Jim Glass, your hand is up.
I'm just going to say I use Notepad a lot because I like the way it just strips out all the unnecessary formatting that I get if I go into Word to save the stuff. It's a lot quicker just for information only. Then if
Right,
I
and
want to, I was going to say then I can just copy it into Word and play with it if it's something I really want to use.
if it's a long article uh, on a web page, it's got a lot of pictures in it. When you copy it, then paste it in a notepad, all the pictures go away too, because it's just a text editor. And so if you just want to capture the text, that's a good way to get rid of all of the images that are in the article as well. Okay, any other comments before we go back? All right, let's share again. And there we go. Now we're sharing. You may have seen and heard about this, but for those of you who want to stay on Windows 10 and the updates end starting next year, when you no longer can get free updates, it's going to cost you $61 for the first year if you want to get the updates. It's going to then double the second year. So then it's going to go to $122. And then the third year, it's going to double again. Now it's getting expensive. So by then, you should be ready to, I guess, update to a new computer or update to Windows 11 if your computer will support it. They are making it available. So if you want to stay on Windows 10, you can, but it's going to cost you money. And so that's what this article is about. It costs the same when they did that with Windows 7 as well. I don't think they made it as for the end user as much as they did for corporate. So you should still move to Windows 11. And I forgot what the exact number was, but it was somewhere about 23% of all the Windows users out there are on Windows 11. So most of them are still on Windows 10. Some are even on earlier versions, but it's been very difficult for Microsoft to get people to move. But one of the reasons is a lot of the hardware won't handle it. So it means going to a new computer. And now might not be the time to go to a new computer. If you're considering it, you might want to wait a few more months as the newer computers that are available to do some of the AI things, you may find it more beneficial to stay on 10 if that's what you need to do until next year, and then go ahead and buy your new computer then. So as much as Microsoft wants you to go to 11, if you're still resisting it, you might want to wait if you're thinking about it in order to do it, to buy a new computer. Welcome to Copilot. We've talked about Copilot. This is a good article. If you're not using Copilot, or if you are, you might want to go to this article. You can look at Copilot for Windows 11, or you can switch over and it'll talk about for Windows 10, because there are some differences. So, and it will tell you all about things that you can do and things that you might want to know about Copilot. So it's a good article. And if you're on Windows 10, some of the things that they talk about are a little bit different, and follow that article. The next article has to do with the new Outlook. And let's go ahead and immersive reader and full screen. I'm getting this down pat. Okay, new Outlook for Windows. Everything you need to know. What's new in the Windows latest Outlook? Well, number one, Windows Mail versus Microsoft Outlook. In the start of 2024, Windows announced the new Windows 11 devices will come with a new Outlook for Windows as the default pre-installed email client without requiring a fee for its use. If you're on a device running Windows 10 or higher, you'll have access to the January 2024 Outlook update. The benefit of signing in on a paid for version of Microsoft 365 is that you won't see any ads when using Outlook. Before 2024, you had the option of using Windows free mailbox app, Windows Mail, and this will still be available to download via Microsoft Store until the end of this year, 2024, along with the Windows Calendar app. If all you want to do is send and receive odd mail, they both do the same job. However, when it comes to the technical battle, Outlook wins, and it offers many excellent underused features and advanced user functionality that Mail does not. Outlook also integrates its mailing functions with calendar functions, meaning you don't have to download the separate Windows Mail and Calendar apps. And there's some new features in it. I'm not going to go through all of those. What I'd like to do is what I did today is, as I said, this started out as a very clean laptop. And so I did not have a mail client set up at all, even though I am a Windows 365 user and paid for user. When I went and told it I want to install the new version of Outlook, it said, oh, you're already a member of 365. So it did a few things, but it went and it picked up my email address that's associated with the account that I'm using on this machine. And then I added another email client. So let's go ahead and we're going to not unshare, but we're going to, let's see, we're going to minimize this. And I'm going to bring up the Outlook. And it's already open. So let's, so you'll see here, I have two accounts. The one that's associated with the account, and then my regular email account. And you can see I've got emails here. If I want to go to the other one, I can go here. I don't know, I've not played with it yet. If I can see in my inbox, there are actually two separate accounts. And I like to have one look at all of my emails in one column. And this is something about Outlook that in regular Outlook that I didn't like. And I'm not sure if it's changed here. Mail event, so it's just mail. I don't think you can see all of them in one. You have to look at one account and then the other account. If anyone knows of a different way of doing that within Outlook, we'll talk about that in a moment. But you can see that it's a little different in look and feel, but it does have a nice look. And I can go to any of the other Office online free account. I can go to Word, Excel, or PowerPoint from this as well. John Samuels, you have your hand up.
I do. That's been always the problem, this business of having multiple emails and wanting to see them all together. I've been told that it's possible to do it, but I haven't figured it out either. Now, I noticed that when you were over one of the emails, it showed 3 dots at the right-hand side. I wonder what we need is to say unify or something like that.
Add account, manage account, and create a new folder.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have they come up with a solution in Outlook where you don't have to switch accounts? Because there are actually different files. And so it's not one big file. You're filtering it. You're looking at different files. Somebody, Stephanie, you have your hand up.
I've had several AOL accounts and a Gmail account all in the same thing, getting all the emails together. I don't know how it started, but I've been doing that for years.
In Outlook?
In Outlook, and I have 365.
Okay, good. That's good to know. I have to. I tried finding it and couldn't. I know Drew's got his hand up. I know he uses a different email client that does allow that. Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, that was just what I was gonna. I've looked at the Outlook and I can't see a way to do it either. I use an open source program called Thunderbird, and you can have. I have 9 email accounts, and I can look at all of the inboxes all at once in a unified inbox without combining the files.
Yeah, I have an iPad and I have several accounts in the email there, and they're all together. So I can see if I got 3 emails in 3 different accounts this morning, and I'm looking at the most recent emails, I can see all 3 at one time. And I really like that on my iPad. So I've been using my iPad more for my email than I have my desktop. But my desktop is where I store everything. I've got emails going back to about 1999, 2000, 2001. I've got emails stored there. It's gigabytes and gigabytes of files, but I got the room, so I don't worry about it. But I would like the ability to look at multiples, and I don't want to switch because I've got all these things that I can search very easily and very quickly. Jolyn, your hand is up.
I could have sworn I found something somewhere in the settings. If I clicked on view and then view settings, and I can't find it now. And I noticed that Yasmin has a note in there. You create a rule. I'm not sure how you would create a rule, but it's
Yeah, if anyone comes up with an idea or a solution and finds an article about it or something, drop me a line and let me know. Tom, you have your hand up.
Yes, I get emails from people in an organization and they're using Outlook, and whenever they send an attachment, the attachment always is a .dat file, and you apparently have to have a subscription to Microsoft Office to open it, or you go to I think a website called windmail.com or something, and you select the file, and then the website will convert the file, which you can then download and see what it is. I'm wondering if you have encountered that or know of any other workaround or solution or prevention of that problem.
I do know some people have had that issue, and let's see, I'm trying to find an easy way for me to see the hands. All I see is one name and then somebody else raised. Let's see if I can do it from here. Jim Glass, your name pops up first, so I don't know whether you were first or not, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't use Outlook, but what I've done, I have several accounts in Gmail and AOL. And what I do, so I get them all together, is I just forward them to the one account that I want them to come to. And that works out just fine. I have a backup on the one account, but then it's forwarded to the one I actually use all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe you can do that. You can use something like that in Outlook by forwarding it to one of the accounts there.
Okay. Somebody else has their hand raised. Jim, if you put it down, I can see their name.
Yeah, okay. Hang on a second.
Stephanie?
Trying. Damn.
Oh, you got it. Stephanie?
Yes, I have received those DAT things, but I don't send them to people. I don't remember how I got rid of them. They were a damn nuisance, but there weren't that many. And when I send emails, they go with attachments. They go whatever they are.
Yeah, the DAT files, if you don't have something that can read that file, and I can't remember what causes that, I may have to do some research on that and maybe do a video for maybe the Tech for Seniors show and how to avoid that and what to do with a DAT file. So, all right. Let's see how we're doing for time. We're still good. Let's see, we are sharing.
And
So
oh, may I say something else?
sure.
All I did in AOL was just they have accounts, and one of the things under the thing is account, and you can add accounts and subtract accounts.
Yeah, you can add accounts here because just this morning I added the Hewie at Hewie.net to the default on this computer of the top one, and it brought all the mail in very easily. It worked quite easily. And
Huey,
You
go
got
ahead.
an
I
add
put-
account
I-
on the left side there.
Huey, I put
Yeah,
a
but-
link in the chat
Okay, let me. if I
about setting up the unified inbox.
Okay, good. All right, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, it's a
Let's see.
Microsoft site. So
Okay. Let's see. Merge two accounts. That's not what you're talking about. I found this, only have one account, so can't check. So it's this. I will click on that. And then close the chat box. Unified inbox and Outlook for Mac. So I don't know. That's not for PC. So I'll have to look further for one for PC.
I
Okay.
just found a link that I'll put in the chat that is
Okay.
an application that lets you import and read Outlook files with Thunderbird.
Again, that means another program and
Yeah,
and
well, it's not necessarily for you. It's for
yeah,
anybody.
yep. Okay, let's see, come back down here and let's close.
I just put the
this.
Windows side link in the chat, Huey.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let's see.
I just used the AI to find out what we need to do. It says for the new Outlook that is part of Windows 11, as of the latest updates, there isn't an all inboxes feature yet. And on, so forth. So it's not there yet. I'm still waiting for years.
Okay, thank you. John Samuels, you have your hand up.
Oh, yes, that was me in there just now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Let's go back to here. And again, go back to, whoops, Hewie.net. And I don't have the top of it here. We'll screen it. There we go. And let's see where we're at here. How to get the most out of Copilot, Outlook. Okay, we talked about Copilot. This one, we got in a discussion at the LACE meeting yesterday. JJ and I were talking about the Publisher, that we both use Publisher to do quite a bit of work and so on. A lot of user groups are using Publisher to produce their newsletter, have for years. Well, it's going away. So what do you use instead? Judy Tallur mentioned that she uses Word and suggests you use Word. The thing is that the desktop publishing of a newsletter really has changed. And a lot of, even though our groups tend to have a PDF newsletter done with some type of a desktop publishing. Things have gone away from that, and that's why Microsoft is doing away with support for Publisher. You'll still be able to use it, but it won't get updated, and it won't get improved. But you'll still be able to use it. But so as they look ahead to the retirement of Microsoft Publisher, we are exploring. Let's see. Let me make it bigger. Keep forgetting to do that. Then full screen it here. It's actually going to, the end of life will be October of 2026. So it's still a little bit off, but certainly is not going to get a lot better. Sign up for their new free newsletter to get 3 times savings each tip. Okay, let's see what else. I guess that's it. They're just basically, it says that they're going to reach the end of life. They posted a message in Windows. Let's take a look at that message. And again, we'll go ahead and, ooh, that's not available, Liz. We can't make that bigger. It's not immersive reader. Wait a minute, split screen. No, it's not an immersive reader. All right, we'll just, it's a message. It's not an Edge. Well, so we're not going to even take a look at it. Let's see, let's go ahead and do this and close it. So anyway, how many are, let's see, let's go ahead and stop the share. How many of you use Publisher? And if so, what do you think you'll use instead of it in the near future? Diane?
I use Publisher all the time and for my newsletter that I used to do for the community, but I don't do that anymore. And I use it now to do my computer club newsletter, which is called the Mouse Pad. And I love doing it, and I'm not going to use Canva. I'm sorry, I don't like Canva. And I actually talked to them because the community was going to force me to use Canva. They are not even set up for a newsletter. They have a template that's for a 1 or 2 page newsletter, but they're not set up for a 20, 30 page newsletter. And they told me that directly. So the only thing I'm going to miss, yeah, you can use Word. I mean, you can use anything. But Publisher, for those of you who do it, has a desktop around it. And that's where you store things or hold things that you're working on or even edit. And that's what I'm going to miss. So I wish I knew something that had that space, you know, my extra desktop around it where I could put things. On Word, you can't go beyond your margins.
Yeah, Yasmin is saying that she uses Canva to do a newsletter, and there are ways to do it. So
well, there are ways to do it, but one thing that I struggled with, and that was the community was forcing me to do it, and I did it for a few months and quit. But there's no way to connect pages, or at least there was no one that would tell me how to do it. And I even contacted Publisher directly, and that's what they told me. We're not set up for that. I mean, you have to, you know, if you want to continue an article, whatever, those that know Publisher know that you create links and so forth. I could not do that in Canva. And also I miss the desktop.
Yeah, and Judy Tallur mentioned she's been using Word for years to do newsletters, and they do have templates and so on. So that might that might, and you do use Word, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean,
So-
I taught at the local college, so I use all of those Windows, you know, programs. I taught all their software, and I like them all, but again, the desktop is what was the magic potion for me. I don't know whether, I hope I'm not misleading anybody. It means, okay, here's your Publisher page, just like your Word page. Now you can move things off past your page border. and you've got this huge empty space around the outside. You don't have that in Word. Or if you
No.
do and it's advanced, I don't know how to turn it on.
No, they don't.
So tell me.
In the meeting yesterday too, that somebody mentioned a program called Serif, SERIF.
Okay.
And that might be one to look at. It's not, I don't think it's free, but I don't think it's expensive either.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
Uh,
care about that. I mean, I'm not gonna pay exorbitant fee, but I don't care about the cost.
But most of the desktop publishing programs that we used to use to do newsletters in our user groups over the years, they've all gone away.
Really?
Because there's nobody using them.
Well, there's a template, and I never really understood that, and I don't know if people want to read a newsletter that way, but in some email programs, there is an email newsletter template. And so your newsletter is inside the body of the email, not an attachment.
Yeah. Somebody just posted, Jolin, I think it was, posted a link to the Serif
Oh,
one.
yes, I see it.
Something else popped into my mind and I read that and it popped out. So just give me a second here to think about where my mind was headed. But there are some other alternatives to that. I use MailChimp for the WinSIG newsletter. And you can set that up in different ways. And it's one long thing that they send out as an email, but you can also, you also can get a link so people can take a look at it online and print it. It's not quite like a newsletter, but it certainly is the template. I set up a template and I just swap out the information every month
Yeah,
in
that's
that
what I was
template.
talking about. Mhm.
So, but MailChimp, if your newsletter is under 500 emails, I think it's a month, you're okay. When I say emails, I'm talking about people that it's going to go to. Well, my mailing list for the WinSIG is 300 and something. So I can, in essence, probably send out 2 newsletters if I needed to, but a month. But it's free because they lowered before then you could send out to huge numbers and not have to pay for it. But now that's why we had to raise more money at Tech for Senior, because we use MailChimp for that. And then STUG uses not MailChimp, but there's another one that's similar to it. I can't remember the name.
Oh, there's Constant. Is it called
Yeah,
Constant?
Constant Contact. That's the other one.
Yeah.
That's the
And
one that
both-
STUG uses.
Yeah, both of those have a monthly fee, right?
That's correct. I think Constant Contact has for any number. MailChimp, if your mailing list is less than 500, and I think
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
I
and,
know.
and if you send, I think it caps it at 500. I don't think it's recipients. I think it's the number of recipients per month. Chris
Okay, yeah,
and
I
Jim
see
says they
some,
use
yeah.
Aweber for newsletters. So there's another choice.
Okay. Yeah, I see the suggestions. Thank you. And I want anybody that's listening, I want suggestions to publisher and especially the desktop space around if anybody does that or
Yeah.
find something that does that. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? All right, we've had some good discussions and lots of good information in the chat box. If you open the chat box and down at the bottom, I can't do it here. I guess, let's see if I can try it.
They've moved it to the top, at least in the
Yeah.
latest version.
There's a way to save the chat and do it before we sign off.
Top right, 3-button menu.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep, there's a top right 3-button menu, and then it says save chat. And it will only save it from the time you logged on to the time you save it. And so if some more things get added, you want to save it again, and it'll add to it. So you can do that. That's a Zoom thing. So anytime you're on a Zoom meeting, you can do that. All right, we've got a few more minutes.
Huey, one other thing about that, it saves it in a Zoom folder in documents so that, and it saves it by date so that you can go and find it. Also, when you save it, a little note pops up, view in folder. So you can actually save it and then actually find where it's saved.
Yep, that it does. If you don't have a Zoom folder already, it will create the Zoom folder. And then in that folder, it will create a folder with today's date and put that text file in there so you can find it. Anytime you save a chat for a Zoom meeting, it will be in the Zoom folder and then in a subfolder with the date and the meeting that you saved it from. Good comment. Thank you for the help.
Huey, before you finish up, would you do a promo for your AI conference?
Yeah, let's, in fact, let me do the one that I did. Sure, let's see. No, I don't think I can. I don't think I have it on here.
I just mentioned what it is.
Yeah, my AI is the fourth Friday. Let's Talk AI is on the fourth Friday of the month at 1 o'clock Eastern time for 1 hour. And we talk about some different things, new things with AI. It's for beginners, some not advanced, but medium people, and then some advanced as well. But it's mostly for beginners and for those that have been playing with it a little while and try different things. And we again show some things. I'll show some different tools that are available or how to find tools, or we just have some discussions on how to do some things or some things that people have figured out how to do. One of the programs I've started to use is called invideo.ai. I'm able to take a file of my voice, in other words, a recording from one of my recordings, and upload it. I took a 45-second sample of my voice, uploaded it to there, and now it uses that to create a virtual voice using my voice as the talk voiceover for any video that I want to have it do. So I've done several short 3, 4, 5-minute videos and have it use my voice, and I don't have to talk over. It actually does it for me using my voice, and it does a very good job of it. And actually, I did a sample of a promo for this meeting and the items that we're covering for this meeting. And if you got a copy of that email with the link and didn't take a look at it, please do. It'll show you some of the things you can do with AI. And it was totally done virtually. I did not talk over or do the voiceover. It is done with AI of my voice. And that meeting again is I think it's the 27th. It's the fourth Friday of the month from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. You're all invited. And you do have to email me so I can add you to the list of reminders and the link that I send out a day or two before that meeting. So if you're interested and have not done so before, please go ahead and send me your email address. I'll add you to that list. Which reminds me, somehow in some of the items that get sent out about this meeting, we say that you got to register for it. If you're already registered for this meeting, you do not have to re-register. Once you're registered for this meeting, until such time as I have to change the link, your unique sign-in for this meeting will not change. So I know several of you every month go ahead and try to sign up. And what you forget sometimes is which email address you used. And now you get 2 or 3 reminders from me because you've signed up 2 or 3 times with different addresses. But if you are already on the list, it doesn't do anything. You put in the information and it says, oh, you're already here, so I don't care. So it's just an added thing that you're doing that you don't need to. Plus, I get a notice every time you do it. Chris, you have your hand up.
Well, actually, it's Jim, but I
Okay.
wanted to. Good show. Anyway, remind people about your show tomorrow.
Yeah, we do Tech for Seniors on Mondays. And a lot of you I know are aware of it, but if you have not come to one of those meetings, please do. Go to www.techforsenior.com and it will give you the information on where you can find where the link is. Go to the Tech for Senior page and there'll be information on the Zoom meeting and link, and you can go there. Chris from she does a fun with photos from Geeks on Tour every a couple of times a month, and I'll do some videos and some how-tos and information about technology. And Ron Brown, my co-host, does some, and we've got.
It's my favorite Monday show. It really
Thank
is.
thank you, Bob G, Jim, Bill James, and Ray Baxter are contributors, and it's a great show. We're now in our 5th year. We've been doing it since COVID started, and we're going to do it for a couple of months. We're still doing it. So by all means, join in. If you want, and you don't want to use Zoom, you can watch most of it on our YouTube channel. And then on Thursdays, we do something called Tech for Senior Live, where we talk about the news, the tech news articles from the past week that we post on our Facebook page. So lots of things where you can get information from us and from your friends and find it interesting. So please join us. Drew, your hand is up. No, we're not hearing you.
Drew lost his audio for some reason.
Yep. No audio, Drew. Sorry. All right.
Could he have muted his whole system by chance instead of just the Zoom?
I'm sorry. The Thursday meeting is done with YouTube, our YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. It is not a Zoom meeting. This has been the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, April 14th. I'm Hewie Poplock. We're glad you attended. We hope you learned something. I know I have. You've been a big help in our discussions. It's been interesting, and we'll see you again next month.